Cool. Okay. Okay, so can I get a show of hands to when it, like, have you ever thought to yourself that this is the end of the world, where you have some kind of situation, you're like, oh crap, I just messed up, and it's the end of the world? Yeah? Cool. So, it's nice to know I'm not alone, but I used to think that all the time, and I used to think that my life was ending. So, sophomore year of high school, it got to the point where it was so bad that I tried to kill myself. And the whole reasoning behind it, and what everyone always tells you, the textbook answer is they felt that they were alone. And I thought that I was alone, but I knew I had a support system. The thing that made me choose to try to end my life was the fact that it was irrational. I knew I had a good support system. I had people that loved me, but I didn't think they could understand the exact same thing that I was going through. And it all boiled down to, I'm alone, no one loves me, no one understands. Looking back at it now, that was kind of stupid. I mean, I look at a lot of my friends here, I look at people back home, and I still get that love and support every day. To cope with that, my parents were actually probably the biggest supporters. They didn't know about my situation, so I tried to commit suicide through pills. That doesn't really go well, by the way. I'm still here today. And my dad talked to a psychologist, and I talked to a therapist, and they decided that an emotional support animal would probably be best. So I got a cat. So I have this ginormous cat that's humongous. Like, he's this big, and he's 22 pounds. So modern day Garfield. He's really nice to lay on too. He's like a nice fluffy pillow. And so I wanted to talk about how I hit rock bottom today, because being at this school and not being able to leave and go see my emotional support animal has taken a bigger toll on me than I thought it would. So most of you know that knob year is terrifyingly hard, or it should be if it's done correctly. With that said, last year was a little rough, and I actually had to go home in February because I couldn't take it anymore. I didn't want to kill myself, but I knew I was reaching a point where I would have probably maintained that mentality. So I went home for a weekend, got to hang out with my family, got to reassure myself that I had a support group, and I had people that were there for me, and I also got to see my cat, which, he's 22 pounds, guys. It's like a nice workout. With that said, this year, they tell you, like, sophomore year sucks. I didn't think it did, but as midterms have come around, as this whole process is beginning to unfold, it does suck. Like, I've taken an L, I think, almost every day this week. I don't even know how that's possible. Like, you have so much time, and they harp on time management, and, like, procrastination is not going to happen. It still does. Still does. But with that whole thing, my mentality is now changing to, it was a bad day, now it's a bad week, now it's going to be a bad month. And so I recently talked to my TAC, and he was there for me last year when I need to go home because I'm going to hit rock bottom. I'm at that point now, even today, where I had to talk to my TAC, and I was like, yo dude, I'm kind of struggling, my family's also struggling, so I think I need to take a breather. So I was planning on going home this weekend, but my parents don't want me to come home because they're scared I'll fall back into my rut of, it's been a bad day, it's been a bad week, it's been a bad month, it's going to be a bad year. So they're kind of worried about me in that aspect. But I want to go home. I want to see my cat. As crazy as that sounds, like, I'm not a cat lady, I promise. I just really need, I guess, something that is unspoken. And I'm harping on this today because not many people, it's like people care, but when they hear mental illness, when they hear depression or suicide, their automatic reaction is to, oh crap, like, let me skirt real quick. And I don't want people to do that, because you could look at someone sitting next to you and be like, oh, they're totally fine, but then 2 days later when they magically just aren't there anymore, it's like, what were the signs? So I just want people to understand, like, I'm not crazy, I promise. They got me tested, I'm not. I promise, for real. But I just want people to understand that it's hard, and I want more people to be understanding that it's okay to not be okay, and also to see that there's rock bottom, but there's a positive to that side. Because going through that and being there again right now, as I speak, it's made me realize like I am possible and capable of coping through this. I just need to take a breather, take a couple days to realign myself with the person that I am. And I wanted to share that all with you because hopefully I have a support system in y'all. Thank you.